Namaste everyone. Um, First of all, I would like to congratulate all the student performers. I think it takes a lot of guts to come up here and perform. So let's give one round of applause. So I remember the first time I came to Sunaad, it was my aunt who was performing, Ashwini Khapadeji. I had come to watch her end performance. At that time she had sung Jaunpuri. I don't know how many years ago this was, but
2018.
yeah, maybe like 6-7 years ago. Um, that time I was sitting in the audience, and Harmonium was Rohan, so she runs with Vivek actually. And then I think maybe 1 or 2 years after that, I actually accompanied a few student performances. I think before the pandemic. So I can proudly say that this is one of my favorite organizations, that promotes young talent. I grew up here in the States, so it's always good to see that there are organizations doing this. There's Sunaad, obviously Maharashtra Mandal Bay Area has been a big source of providing stage for young talent. I know there's a couple of other organizations, but it's rare to see nowadays. We have a lot of visiting artists from India, but the local artists get forgotten. So this is an amazing platform for us, and I love this aspect of the student performances plus sort of teaching or Lec-dem sort of thing. And so it's a pleasure to be here. I would like to thank Sunaad for inviting me. Gaurav ji, I think he's here today. Gaurav is not here?
He helped set up.
Oh, okay, yeah, set up. Okay, so he was here. I'd like to thank him, and then I think Gupta family for hosting. I think we're meeting first time, so thank you so much. So I'll get started with the topic. This is, I think, one of the important topics for students. I find it is important was important for me as well. This is particularly related to Taankari. When we say Khayal Gayaki, how to do taans or how to not have any blockage of doing taans, being able to do it fluently, right? Many times, as students, we have to set the taans before the concert, and then you only have set 5-10 taans, right? And then you sing, and then you go away, and then it all ends, right? So there should be we should be able to do unlimited taans. And I want to talk about few ideas that I personally use that I've been taught by my gurus. Vivek ji also has given few ideas, and hopefully we'll do some jamming on the stage. You can see the exchange of ideas and how that works. So this idea of taan is very important in our music. Obviously, we have all the badhat and alap and bol baat and all of sort baat like Ari, but the end is the taan, and that's when it can really make or break performance that we do. So I have few topics that I'll share. There are various types of taan you can do. Obviously, main ones we have the sargam taans, akar taans, bol taans, mukbandi taans. We have, and then also in that there is different techniques like gamak, or just straight sapat. Those kind of topics are there as well. But the main, I think, problem that comes is that there is only limited ideas. So how can you make all the taans unique, right? Otherwise you are stuck in singing one loop or one type of taan, right? Sare ga ma pa da sare ga ma pa da ni da ba ma ga re sa ga re ga ma pa da ni da ba ma ga re sa re ga ma pa da ni da ba ma ga re sa. All the taans end up being like this, right? They have a very set structure. Prabhu da saban ke Prabhu da saban Gare ga ma pa da ni da ba ma Prabhu da saban ma pa da ni da ba ma ga re sa Prabhu da sare ga ma ba ma ga re ga ma pa da ni da ba ma ga re sa Prabhu da. It's very straight and simple, right? These are the taans we kind of start with learning, and first 5-10 years we are singing these type of taans. So then how to go to the next level, right? So I have given few ideas here. Palta, I don't know how many of you have studied paltas? Okay, good. Yeah, I'm glad that those two are raising the hand. Paltas are very important. Paltas, Alankar, I'm sure everyone has studied. That's how we start the music. I have devised one interesting idea of combo alankar, which can give you that unlimited sack of items to play with in the thing. And then we have like different patterns that you can use also, like repeated notes or like sort of weaving. And this is like coming from the different gharanas. So we'll start with Palta based taan. So anyone can answer what is Palta?
Not you.
Feel free. I mean, you can just answer. Okay, good. I'm glad we're here in this demonstration. Palta is so my Guruji says palta वो आपको पलट के गाना पड़ता है. You have to keep repeating it, and it has to be something. Palta is always based in some rag, right? You can have generic patterns. Obviously, the sapat sare gama padani sa sani dapa magare sa, right? And different patterns sare sare ga re gama, like this you can also have. But paltas is always based in some rag, and Guruji always says that in every rag you should have 50 to 100 paltas memorized, and you should have when you create, right, when you're doing your practice, you should have 50 to 100 paltas. So every rag I always have list of 50 to 100 paltas and I write it down, right? So I'll give you an example of this. This is visible. Is the screen visible? So look here, I mean I have 93 paltas. These are pretty generic because they use all the swars. So this is particular for Ahir Bhairav. So there are some paltas in here that are very unique to Ahir Bhairav, but a lot of these patterns can be used in other rags also. I'll just give you an example of paltas, right? So Ahir Bhairav, sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da ba ma ga So we start with paltas which are lower. Ni sa da ni pa da ni sa re ga ma pa ma ga re sa ni sa da ni pa da ni sa re ga ma pa ma ga re sa ni sa da ni pa da ni sa re ga ma pa ma ga re sa ni da pa ma pa da ni sa re ga ma ga re sa. This is Uttarang of Mandara Saptak and Purvang of Madhya Saptak. Everyone knows Saptak concept, right? And these are good to do in morning. This is obviously morning rag, so you can do it in the morning. Sa re ni sa da ni pa da ni sa re ga ma ga re sa. Only limit yourself to from pa to pa, basically. So do only patterns in that. And here you have ni sa da ni pa da ni sa re ga ma pa ma ga re sa ni sa re ga ma pa da ni da pa ma ma ga re sa ni re sa re ga ma pa da ni da pa ma ma ga re ni sa re ga ma pa da ni da pa ma ga re sa ni sa. And then you can create. So just using these patterns. Re sa ni da pa da ni sa re ga ma ga re sa ma ga re sa ni da pa da ni sa re ga re ga ma pa ma ga re sa ma ga pa ma da pa ma ga re ga ma pa ma ga re sa. This is just now coming from the mind. What I recommend is you don't need to take hundreds of paltas. In one riyaz session you take maybe 3 or 4 और उसको अच्छे से गाओ, right? Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa re ga ma pa da ni sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni आता में Going like this multiple hundreds of times and then you increase the speed. And so forth. So this is just palta, right? Now in this you can have different patterns. I won't cover. So these are all sapat paltas. they all go up and down. So they have a 8 notes up, 8 notes down. They are doing this in dogun, so double speed in 3 taal. Now you can go to more complex paltas. So here are a few of them. So example, re re ni sa ga ga sa re ma ma re ga ba ba ga ma da ra ma pa ni ni ba da sa da ni re re ni sa da ni ba da ma pa ga ma re ga sa re ni sa da ni ba da ma pa ga ma re ga sa re ni sa re re ni sa ga ga sa re ma ma re ga ba ba ga ma da ra ma pa ni ni ba da sa da ni re re ni sa da ni ba da ma pa ga ma re ga sa re ni sa akar and then this you put in the loop. And you can do upas on this. Upas, anyone has talked about upas in the class? Upas is from these ideas. So this pattern was re re ni sa ga ga sa re ma ma re ga ba ba ga ma re re ni sa ga ga sa re ma ma re ga ba ba ga ma da da ma ma da da ma ma ni ni ba da sa da ni re re ni sa da ni da ba ma ga re sa re ni sa ga sa re. You can do all this. Re sa re ni sa re ma ga ma re ga ba ba ga ma da ba ni da ni ba da sa ni re sa re ni sa da ni ba da ma ga ma re ga sa re ni sa re ga ma ba da ma ba da ni da ma da ni sa ni da ni da re ga re sa ni da ba ba da ni sa ni da ba ma re ga. So now hopefully I didn't probably repeat any of the patterns. You can see they're all unique, but they're very much based in the rag. Now I'll show you example in Jhaptal bandish, Ayir Bhairav bandish, Lagi Ram ki. Interesting thing about this bandish is it does not pick up on sum like many of the Jhaptal bandishes. It picks up on after the 10th beat. It picks up between the 10th and the 1st. So now the question comes in, how will I pick up the tan? Because you're used to picking up on 1st beat or maybe 6th beat in Jhaptal, right? On the sum or the khali. So the question comes, how will I pick up on that thing? So the trick is that I always use, you come up with some phrase basically that you can end every tan with. And before that, you can do all your different patterns, right? You have all these paltas, right? You can use, and we'll get to these other topics also, alankar, combo alankar. You can use different patterns, but always end the tan with the same phrase, which you know is fixed. So in Jhaptal, there is 4 khand, dhin na, dhin na, tin na, dhin na. So that dhin na, last khand, right? If you do it, you will always, if you fix a phrase from that dhin na part and you sing that phrase every time in every tan, your mukda will always come. I'll sing the mukda of this bandish. Lagi Rama ki laga, lagi Rama ki laga, lagi. That lagi is coming in between 10 and 1. Din na, lagi Rama ki laga, lagi Rama ki laga, lagi. And then, so when you go to dance, you always increase the speed. So I'm skipping all the button. Lagi Rama ki laga, lagi. At this speed, we can do Laikari first. Sa re ga ma pa da pa ma ga re sa, lagi ga ma pa da ni re sa re ni da pa ma ga ma re sa, lagi Rama. These are patterns. Now you can do the tan, which will be in every beat. You can have 4 matras. Tan, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 din na, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 8. Lagi. You can have, so if you mix basically 9 swar pattern. Re sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. Simple. The simplest pattern you can have is re sa ni da pa ma ga re sa, and you sing it from that re sa ni da pa ma ga re sa lagi. You will always end. You will always end proper, right? And dhin, that khand is very easy to pick up. Dhin na, re sa ni da pa ma ga re sa lagi. Rama sa ga ga sa re ma ma re ga ma ma ga ma da da ma ma ni re sa ni da ma ma ga re sa lagi ga ma pa da ni sa re ga ni sa re ga re sa ni da re sa ni da ma ma ga re sa lagi sa sa re ga ma ma da ba ba da ni re sa ni da ma ma ga re sa lagi. You can add small variation with that. Sa re ga ma da ba ma ni re sa ni da ma ma ga re sa lagi. Every time is ending with that. Then you can think of some other phrase. Gama pada dhapa magare sa lagi. Gama pada dhapa magare sa. Sare gama pada ni dhapa magama gama pada dhapa magare sa lagi. Sare gama pada ni dhapa re pada ni re sa re sa ni sa ni dhapa dhapa magare sa lagi. Sare gama pada ni dhapa ni sa re sa ni sa ni gama pada dhapa magare sa lagi. Akan so it's a very difficult thing to pick up, but if you have this trick, right, where you fix the phrase, right, and not it has to be from 9 beats. You can add hymn also in that, so another 9 beats. You can have 17 beat phrase also. Sare gama pada ni sa re sa ni da pa ma ga re sa lagi. Sare gama pada ni sa re sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. Simplest 17 swer phrase you can have. From khali you can sing. Sare gama pada ni sa re sa ni da pa ma ga re sa lagi. Do whatever before that, any pattern. Sare gama pa ma ga ma pada pa ma pada ni sa re sa ni da pa ma ga re sa re sa. Sare gama pada ni sa re sa ni da pa ma ga re sa lagi. So palta and then fixed phrase. These are two tricks to do taans. Are there any questions from this topic I can cover? And the more paltas you do, right? I mean, here I showed you 93 of them. I didn't cover all of them, right? More examples are like gare ga gare za ni da ni da ba gare ga gare za ni da ni da ba ma ba da ni da ba ma gare za gare ga gare za ni da ni da ba gare ga gare za ni da ba ma gare za gare ga gare za ni da ni da ba gare ga gare za ni da ni da ba gare ga gare za ni da ni da ba gare za ni da ba gare za ni da ba ma gare za. So you can do patterns like this also, and you can develop, right? So this is palta, and so the more paltas you do, and the best thing is to ask your guru, right? Whoever your guru is, you can ask them, can I get paltas in this rag because I want to practice. I always do that to my guru. My guru always doesn't give me the paltas, but I'll be like, Kaka, मला याच्यामध्ये palta द्या, मला palta करायचं. Especially like rags, and if we get into this, now this is a straight rag. Ahir Bhairav is very straight. What happens when you get sa re ga pa da ni da ma re ga pa da ni da ma re ga re ni da sa re ga re ni da sa. Bilas Khane. How can you do that, right? Now the question is much difficult because sa re ga pa da sa re ni da ma re ga re sa ga re ni da sa. This is the Arva of Bilas Khane. So in this also you will need to do paltas. sa re ga pa da sa re ga pa da sa re ni da ma ga re sa re ga pa da sa re ni da ma ga re sa ga re ga pa da ni da ma ga re sa ga re ni da ni da sa re ga re sa re ga ma ga re ga pa da ni da sa re ga ma ga re ga pa da ni da sa re ga re ni da ma ga re ga pa da ni da ma ga re ga ma ga re sa re ga pa da ni da ma ga re sa ga re ni da ni da sa re ga ma ga re ga pa da ni da sa re ga re ni da ma ga re ga pa da ni da sa re ga re ni da ma ga re ga pa da ni da ma ga re ga sa. So in this also you have paltas. Then same thing, you take bandish. Now teen tal will do. Tajare abhiman jaan guniya se tajare abhiman jaan guniya se tajare abhiman jaan guniya se tajare abhiman jaan guniya gun ki seva gun ki seva namana bhavan gun ki seva namana bhavan tajare abhiman jaan guniya se tajare abhiman. So this bandish starts after the dhatin tip. Most of us are used to picking up on khali, right, in teen tal. But when you have stuff like this, right, or picking up on 15th or picking up on 5th, then how will you do? Same thing, use the same idea. You can fix one phrase, right? Best phrase is you fix for, you can do it for 8 beats. So you can do simple sa re ga pa da sa re ga pa da sa re ni da ma ga re sa re ga pa da sa re ga re ni da ma ga re sa re ga pa da sa re ga re ni da ma ga re sa re ga pa da sa re ga re ni da ma ga re sa. Yeah, you can fix this phrase. So sa re ga pa da sa re ga re ni da ma ga re sa. This can be your 16 matra or 16 स्वर का phrase. Then sa re ga pa da sa re ga re ni da ma ga re sa. Now where will you start from? 12 minus 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Da, din, da. Sa re ga pa da sa re ga re ni da ma ga re da ja re abi. Sa re ga pa da sa re ga re ni da ma ga re sa. 1, 2, 3. 1. Da, din, da, da, din, da, da, din, da, din, da, da, din. Sa re ga pa da sa re ga re ni da ma ga re sa da ja re abi. Yeah, so after the dhatin thing you can sing this phrase. Again, before that you do anything. Right? Any pattern you have for taan you can do. But from 4 you must pick up this phrase. Da din din da da din din da da din din da ja re abi. 1, 2, 3 sa re ga pa da sa re ga re ni da ma ga re sa da ja re abi ma jaan guniya se da ja re abi ma This is another, now we talk about in teen tal, right? Jab tal, teen tal.
सगळ्यांना सांगत सुटू नका
Huh?
सगळ्यांना सांगत सुटू नका आम्ही असं करतोय आम्हाला कळलं पाहिजे काय सगळ्यांना सांगत सुटू नका.
Oh yeah. Don't. This is secretive. This will stay within there.
What happens
Yeah.
when Sunaad stays?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stays here.
You should keep the skills with you, right? And Vivek always teaches us in class also. We like do 8 beat in taan, or do do fixed taan, and you always end all the taans with this phrase, and then we go around in the class and we, everyone plays taan with that. But you have to. These are, I'm giving now ideas, right? So palta is one. I'll show you. So these are some basic alankas, right? So I have defined 11 basic alankas, and if you want any of these materials, just message me after. I'll give my phone number. I can send this to you. Basic alankas. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da ba ma ga re sa re ga ma ma ba da ni sa ni da ba ma ga re sa re ga ma ba da. This is 3s, 4s. Sa re ga ma ba da ni sa. And then sa re ga ma ba da ni sa ni da ba ma ga re sa. Re sa ga re ma ga pa ma da ba ni da sa ni sa da ni ba da ma ba ga ma re ga sa re ni sa ga re ma ga pa ma da ba ni da sa ni sa da ni ba da ma ba ga ma re ga sa re ni re sa ma re pa ga da ma ni pa sa ba ni ma da ga pa re ma sa ga re sa re ma ga re ga pa ma ga ma da ba ni da ba da sa ni re sa ni sa ga re sa da ni ba da ni da ma ba da ba ga ma re ga ma ga sa re ni sa re sa da ni sa. Basic alankas, there is a few more of them. But the point is, okay, once you have these, where is a combo alankar then? So if I say 2 plus 3 from this list. Sare ga re ga ma pa ma da pa da ni da ni da sa ni da ni da ma da ma ga re sa. Then 3 plus 2. Sare ga re ga ma pa ma da da ni sa ni sa sa ni da pa ni da pa ma ga re sa re sa. 4 3. सारे गा मा pa re ga ma pa अभी रूपक का छंद हो गया. 7 7. सारे गा मा pa re ga ma pa 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 सारे गा pa re ga ma pa ma da ni da ni da ni sa ni sa sa ni da ma ni da pa ga re. All of these like this. Then you can combine 6 and 1. How will that be? Re sa ga re ma ga pa ma da pa ni da sa ni re sa ni da ni pa da ma pa ga ma re ga sa re ni da. 6 plus what? 2. Re sa re ga ma pa ma da pa da ni da ni sa ni sa ni da ni da pa da ma ga re ga sa re. So then 6 plus 3. Re sa re ga ma pa. This is again 5. So chapta ka chand. Dina di. So with this you can get a different vazan. Basically, vazan means weightage of the pattern. So anything which gives you 5 will fit well in chaptal. Anything which gives you 7 will fit well in rupak. Anything which gives you 4, 8, 16, 2 multiples of 2, you can fit well in teen tal. You can also swap, right? Teen tal ka vazan aa raha hai, 16 ka vazan you can also fit in rupak when you do a rupak bandish, right? Now I sang the chaptal bandish, but in that I sang many patterns that were 8, 8, 8, 8, right? But it fit. What is it? I kept the fixed phrase. That's why I never went wrong in the chapta. But if you want to play with the tal also, then you can use these weighted patterns, right? 2 plus 3, 3 plus 2. Now you tell me how many combinations I can make from this. Above 1000, right? Easily, right? So that is the thing. There is also, I won't cover in this in much detail, but there is also Merukhand. Anyone has played with that, right? That is factorial. Actually, Ustad Amir Khan Sahab ka gaya ki he was very much based on this. He played a lot with Merukhand. And that is basically you take limited set of notes. You have to limit yourself, right? So if you take 3 notes, sa re ga, sa re ga, sa ga re, sa ga re ga, sa ga sa re ga re sa, re ga ma ga re ma re ga ma ga re, ga ma pa ma ga pa ga ma pa ma ga. And then you do this in akar. You can keep going like this. This is another pattern. 4 you can do, right? So you can get maximum factorial. So 3 factorial, 3 times 2 times 1. You get 6 patterns. Sa re ga, sa ga re sa re, ga re sa. If you do 4, it is 24 patterns. You can just get with sa re ga ma. So you'll never run out basically. That is another way you can do. So this is Alankar, combo Alankar, we talked about Paltas. The goal is that you will never run out of the ideas, because the biggest thing is that you get a block and then Guruji will ask you, okay, you sing Taan now, right? And sometimes, Guruji will take some new rag in the class and then he'll say, Abhi Taan gao. We didn't do any Paltas, nothing. He just taught me the Bandish 5 minutes ago and he expects me to do Taan, right? How can you go about doing that? So you use all of these techniques, Palta, Taan, right? And you can use these patterns everywhere. Now let's give the example of 2 plus 3. Sare, sare, ga, re, ga, ma, right? Now in Ahir Bhairav, sare, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa, ni, da, ma, ga, re, sa. Sare, sare, ga, ma, ba, ma, ba, da, ba, da, ni, sa, ni, da, ni, da, ba, da, ba, ma, ga, re, sa. In Miyaki Todi. Sare ga ma da ni da ba ma ga re sa. Sare ga ma da ni da ni sa ni da ni da ba da ma ga re sa. Bairagi. Sare ma ba ni ba ma re sa. Sare ma ba ni sa ni ba re sa. Right, you can do it in any zilaf. Sa ga ma pa da sa ga ma pa da sa da ba ma ga sa ga ma ba da ba da sa da sa da ba da ma ga. And the reason these are coming out so fluent is because I've done them in every rag, right? So you have to do it, but if you do it well in a few rags, it's like you have prepared your blueprint. You can just apply that everywhere. But you just do it well in 2 rags. When I started, I did Bhairav, Yaman, Bhoop, and Todi. These were like my 4 rags. I spent almost 3-4 years only on these rags, doing paltas and whatnot on all of these. In each rag also 10-15 bandishes. And if you do it well in these rags, you can do it anywhere. Even in Yaman, ni re ga re ga ma ga ma da ma da ma da ni da ni sa sa ni da ni da ba da ma re sa. Then Palta also, ni re ga ma da ni sa ni da ba ma ga re sa ni da ni da ba ga re ga re sa ni da ma da ni sa ni da ba ma ga re sa. So this is Palta and everything. So you have the technique now. Palta is there, Alankar is there, combos are there. Then you have the technique of how to fit it in the Taan also. Come up with the phrase, simplest phrase you have to come up with. Whatever simple phrase you can come up with, where you can recognize the Taal, right? That's what will give you the push. Because in live performance, the Taal is going, there is no, how many of you use that Tabla Pro, right? I always tell them, I'm like, your Tabla player is not going to have a screen in his forehead where you can see the numbers, right? So I'm like, always put your Tabla on and shut your iPad off. You should not look at the numbers when singing, right? So that is another thing. I think I've been going for quite a while, so this was a lot. I can send all these contacts. I have these alankars. I also have all the combos written down. So if you want them pre-prepared for you, it's there. I can just send it to you. You don't have to do the logic. Also, I would recommend one exercise. Someone give me some pattern, right? Anybody? Starting with just Saregama. Any combination. Samagarega. Okay. Samagarega, re pa ma ga ma ga da pa ma pa ma ni da ba da pa sa ni da ni. You can keep going like this. So now I'm able to develop that pattern in my head. Samagarega, re pa ma ga da pa ma ni da ba da. I'm immediately able to sing the Taan. Another pattern. Come on, I'm waiting for challenge. But the idea is basically take some complex phrase. You should be able to develop the ascending and descending of that. Right? You have all these tools now. You can develop the ascending, right? Basic Saregama. If I just give Saregama, then what is the next logical phrase? Regama pa, gama pa da, ma pa da ni, pa da ni sa, sa ni da pa, ni da pa ma, da pa ma ga, like this, right? Combine that with something. Saregama sare. Regama pa rega, gama pa da gama. It's a very basic thing actually. It's taught very early on in the music education, but basic things are what make our music. If you do these a lot, then you will have a lot of confidence on being able to do them. So any pattern, like she gave me one pattern, pretty complex, Sama Garega, then you will be able to, in your mind, you should be able to develop the reverse, going up and reverse of that also. I'll end with Gujri Todi, Tarana. Now this starts on 12th beat of Ekta. I think someone did the Charukeshi, someone's Bandish had started on 12th, right? Yeah, Spandana, yeah. So that was good. But again, now if you had to, all your tans were probably fixed, right? So how can you do tans on the fly where every time you're able to pick up on the 12th? That is the question. So I'm going to use all these techniques now. I won't stop to explain. Hopefully you can hear some of those techniques as I sing. I'll keep it short, 4 or 5 minutes, and then we can go to the Q&A. Maybe I'll ask Vivek ji, which में थोड़ा पलटा गाओ. I'll use his ideas in my time. I'll try. So now you can see how we have to interact with our companies also. Next, I'm blessed to have both Ajinkya and Vivek ji with me here. Their ideas also influence some of the patterns we can do, and maybe some of the patterns I might have not done before, but his idea will give me that impromptu, and because of that strategy, right, which I showed you with Shobhana ji, I'm able to create the pattern of that, or I'm able to take that as an inspiration and create something else. So just look out for that. I'll keep some part in that. If I pick it up on some deep, doesn't work. So I have to pick it up on that 12. So my tan cannot be wrong. What is saying now? Same thing, right? Phrase.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After that, din din dha tak tu na. Ha. Din din dha tak tu na. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Simple as Dada Mama Gaga Re Re Sa. Mama Gaga Re Sa, but if you do it in Tan, it is all double. So Dada Mama Gaga Re Sa. So this is another idea. It's giving me ideas. You see that, right? So taking one sur and focusing the tan on that. So now I took madhyam. So using the syllable or vowel of the word to do the tan. Now the tan that you can asthaya, I cannot take in Adara. It will be repeat. The people will know. If I start taking doesn't fit. I have to end. I have to flip everything. Everything will be going to sa. Madasa. So every rag will have some swar sangati or chand. ga ma ni ma da sa. In Gujarati we can do this. Sa re ga ma da ni ma da sa ni ma ni da ma re ga ma da ni ma da sa. On this you can do taan also. Ma da sa da ni 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 da ni. Sa da ni da ni da ni da ni da ni da ni da ma da ma ga re ga re sa re ga re ga ma da ma da sa ma da sa ma da sa ma da sa. Techniques I gave, right? I'm going to develop the taan for Madasa. Mada sa. Sare sare ga re ga mada 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 sa. Sare sare ga re ga mada 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 sa. This is the combo of class. Sare sare ga re ga mada 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 sa. Sare ga re ga mada 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 sa. Sare ga re ga mada mada sa. Sare sare ga re ga mada 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 sa. Anything you can do. Esa ga re mada mada mada. I can show that phrase if I use multiple patterns to go up. Now Madasa, we skip knee in Gujarati. But you can show the Madasa and then knee. How will you show knee? That has to be very skillfully shown, right? Because you are using Madasa a lot. Madasa can be part of many different rags. So how to show the knee and bring it back to Gujarati? Swar Samrati in Gujarati Todi. Sare ga ma da ni ma da sa re ni da ma re ga re ni sa re ga re sa. So a lot of the Madasa, but then when the daily comes, it's hidden behind the closet. You know, when you look through your closet and you find some shirt you've been looking for a long time, it's like that. You find it immediately. There's not much joy. So you have to hide it somewhere behind. But when you find that, it's right there. Din So hopefully you could see all the different things we were doing. All the patterns, the paltas, the alankars. And the alankars give that, I love that because if you get some complex phrase, you have all these patterns to be able to show that so nicely, right? Why you want to keep showing sare ga ma da sa, sare ga ma da sa, ma da sa, ga ma da sa, ma da. When you can do sare ga re ga ma da sa, sare ga re ga ma da ma da sa, sare ga ma da sa, sare da ma ga re ga ma da ma da sa, sa ga re ma ga da ma sa ga re ma ga da ma sa. You can do like this also. So that is the idea basically. That way you will never learn. And why we hear recordings 1 hour 15 minutes, right? Of Khyal, right? Khyal generally goes for 45-50 minutes max. But sometimes you can see on YouTube some of Himsenji's recordings or even old Buzurg Log ka recordings. That is like they're singing 1 hour 15 minutes, 1 hour 30 minutes. So why is that? Because so many ideas, right? Like being exchanged, the new ideas coming, and then we're able to develop on that. And it's fun to play with people that have different backgrounds, right? Now Vivek ji comes from a very different background. I've been able to imbibe some of that tradition from him by learning with him. But he could have been a completely different person and had a very different idea of Gujri. But the Gujri that I sing with him versus the Gujri that I sing with Mihika, or the Gujri that I sing with anybody else, right? On the accompaniment, it will be very different because the ideas that transpire will be quite different. And you know, that's why they say, oh, 1970 wala Gujri Todi, is hall mein, is city mein. People remember that, right? I'm sure you have fond memories of that, right? Is festival mein gaya tha. That is that time, that rag, how it was presented at that time. You know, like we have a very decent, very good memory of that. Why? Because that samikaran jo tha, us waqt, wo bahut acha tha. So it just happens to go. So we have very again blessed to have companies like this, right? Ajinkya and Vivek ji. Companies can make or break the performance. So please, one round of applause for them. And if you want the materials, I can give my number to you, and I think Shobhana ji also has it. I can send it to you for that, but as long as you don't share it anywhere, it's fine. Keep it to yourself. And 10 years down the road, you can do a Lec-dem of this, and then you tell them not to share. But no, hopefully it helps all the students, and this is for instrumental students also. It's not just vocalists, right? Huh? Yeah, we do the same thing. So instrumental, even in sitar, harmonium, sarod, you can use these techniques actually, right? To create your patterns and to have unlimited, and you can just keep jamming and having fun basically. But the main thing is perfect them in one style, one rag or few rags. Once you do that, you can apply it to other else. So, thank you. Is there any questions? Question answer quick. Maybe I'll take 1 or 2 questions. Lot to process.
Exactly.
Question?
What is the tips for doing janti in the odd mode?
Say it again.
Jodi, janti.
Jodra.
Jodra.
Yeah.
That's another 2 hour.
Yeah, another 2 hour conversation.
Like so deep.
Yeah. You can, so same thing, right? Generally in Zodra you have Purvang and Purvang of one rag and Uttarang of one rag. This is jog rounds. It is jog in the Purvang and in the Uttarang. So you can use the Purvang of, if you practice jog, you have to have practice jog and the other rag to be able to do the rag well. So you can use Purvanga, the patterns you have done in Zog, Uttarang, patterns you have done in the Kaunzang, and then you can combine them. So, ga ma ga sa da ni sa ga ma da da ni sa da ma da ni da ma ga ma ga sa ga da ni sa ga ma da ni sa ga sa ni ga sa da ga ma ga sa. So in Jog, just Jog, right? Sa ga ma pa, sa ga ma pa ga ma ga sa sa ga ma pa ni pa ma pa ni sa ni pa ma ga sa ga ma pa ni ni sa ni pa ma ga sa. Saga ma pa ni sa ni ma ga sa ga sa ni saga ma pa ni ga sa ni sa ni sa. This is Paltas of Jog, and then you do it in the Kaunzang also. Saga ma da ni da ma ga sa da ni sa saga ma da ni da ma da ga sa saga ma ga sa ni sa ga ni da ni sa saga ma da ni da saga ma da ni da ma ga sa ni sa ga sa. This is a conch, and then you can combine these to make Veera Para. Below is the tones. Saga ma pa ga ma sa ga sa ni da ni saga ma pa ga ma ni da ni sa. All tones. Sa ni da ni sa ga sa ni da ba ga ni da ba ma pa da ma ga sa ga sa. Veera Para. You have to know both the rags well, and what ang of both rags is used, and what is the palta ang of those, and then you can develop the similar patterns of this. That is,
I have a question.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
last question.
Yeah.
Yeah, last question.
Good things still have to come to an end. Yeah.
One last question. You don't have to answer it. So, how do you remember pattern? How do you remember rules of rag? How do you remember khali? And then some, pay attention to the tabla player, harmonium player, and after all of that, make a performance out of it.
I'll give one word. Starts with R. That's it. You have to just sit and do it.
Okay,
All these
that
patterns.
was a question for everybody, and that was the answer for everybody.
Yeah, it's one simple answer. That's it.
Yes. Rehearse and then come back and perform here.
Exactly.
How the performance goes doesn't matter.
Really?
The effort
Yes.
you put into it is what makes it.
So if you have any questions, just reach out to me. I'm happy to answer or have a chat with you. And if you want the material also, I can send you. So, thank you.